This is KUGAN CASSIUS Fire from London. We're at the Renaissance Hotel here in Manchester for the benefit evening for Mr. Kieran Farrell. On the top table, I've got the legendary Jamie Moore. How are you, Jamie?
Big. That's a big title, that, Cougs. Legendary.
Legendary.
I'm not even called that in the bedroom.
Oh, I wouldn't know about
that in the bedroom. Not called that.
That's up for dispute. We're here at a sort of, it's kind of an unwanted dinner for Kieran at this stage of his short career. He's had 15, 16 fights, 22 years of age. It's not known in boxing for this to happen on a regular basis, but when it does happen, it does make you think that, every fight a boxer does have, they should, treasure it.
Exactly. No, it is an eye-opener, and I mean, there's very, very few tragedies in boxing nowadays, or people getting seriously injured because the Boxing Board of Control are so efficient at doing the medical stuff. But when they do happen, and as I say, thankfully it's not that often, but when they do, more often than not now, people make a full recovery. Thankfully Kieran has done that. Dave Colwell, I mean, listen, let's give him a bit of a bit of a pat on the back, because he didn't have to do this tonight. People have rallied round and tried to help Kieran. Dave, he's put a lot of time and effort. It takes a lot of effort to put a do on like this. He didn't have to do it, but he's gone out and done it. So you've got to applaud him for that. But he's got a great turnout. Hopefully he'll raise a bit of money, to put towards his gym. He's going to go into the training side of it now. So yeah, it's a great event. And it's for a good cause, because boxing's a short career anyway. So to have it cut even shorter for someone as young and as ambitious as Kieran, it's sad, but thankfully he's okay.
When things like this happen, there's always a natural instinct from people to place blame on someone. So whether it's the medical staff or the promoter, I mean, since it happened a few months ago, I've heard all sorts of things like people knocking Dave Colwell, whether Kieran should have even been in the fight event in the first place. The medical listen, it swings and roundabouts. Everyone sort of who's involved on the night gets a little bit part of the blame, but
in every situation there's always someone who can take the blame for something. At the end of the day, there were both professional fighters. Kieran was unbeaten. Anthony Crolla was coming off a loss. It was I think it had a win in between, but it was a good, evenly matched fight. No one questioned it beforehand, so everyone's an expert afterwards. Now, I've heard that he struggled at the weight, Kieran, and I struggle at the weight badly. I'm a big believer now is we need to start now. It ain't going to happen overnight, but we need to educate fighters about the dangers of excessive weight loss before the weigh-in, because we seem to have developed to this cult in trying to get as much weight off as possible to get on as much weight as you can by the next day to get an advantage, and it's dangerous. I was one of the worst ones for it, and it's very, very dangerous. So I know for a fact I didn't perform to my full potential because I was weight trained. Now, in hindsight, I'd rather have been a better athlete and performed to my full potential rather than try to kill myself to gain an unfair advantage, because in the end it shortened my career. And if it is the case where Kieran was weight trained, then it shortened his career. So you can't put your finger on it and say that's for definite what happens, but I think fighters need educating to the dangers of it.
We had a tragedy 2 weeks ago. Michael Norgrove, who again collapsed on the night and then days after passed away. Like you said, it's not a regular occurrence in British boxing and in world boxing. People, dying as a result of a fight, but it does make you think, doesn't it?
Especially when there's a couple of them happening in a short space of time. So it does make you sort of think, it's a dangerous sport. But listen, sports, motorsports and horse riding, people die doing that every day. Just because the essence of boxing is to punch each other in the face. So it's sort of people call it barbaric. But listen, the benefits of boxing, outside the centre of it, the knock-on effects of it all in communities and stuff like that, it's a far greater impact than it does, and it's a less of a dangerous sport than other sports. So, people need to understand that boxing is not as dangerous as some other sports. When these tragic things will happen, like they have done with Kieran and with Michael, then it does make you, as a boxer even, or someone involved in boxing, makes you sit back and think it is dangerous. But you know, if you look in the greater scope of it, it isn't that dangerous. And as I mentioned before, the Boxing Board of Control are doing great things to make it even safer. But I think the weight issue is one what needs to be addressed.
There are some elements, like you said, with the weight issue, the stamping out of PEDs in the sport as well, and there's probably a few other issues that can help to counter this, problems that could arise like this. But ultimately, when two fighters go in the ring, you can't say for sure, regardless of all these, even if they were fine with the weight and you know no one's on drugs, but you can't 100% say that these things are not going to happen.
No, exactly, and you're right to say that, but you can't say that you'll cross over that road and a car won't hit you. So in every walk of life, there's different aspects what cause danger and put you in a certain situation. So I mean, I live in Salford, and I can walk down the street every night, and I can, you know, I'm more at danger walking down the street in Salford than I am walking down the street in Altrincham, for instance. So and listen, let's not beat around the bush. Boxing is a very dangerous sport. We all understand that when we get involved with it. So it's not as if Kieran will turn around and say, well, nobody told me it was dangerous, because he knew that when he got involved in it. We all accept the dangers of boxing, but my not problem, but my attitude towards the weight making thing is a big issue, and I think that we need to address it. And it's not going to be in our generation when it changes. It's going to be with educating younger fighters and let them come through knowing the dangers, and turning around to people who try and make the weight badly and going, you're crazy, you're doing it wrong, and they don't do that at the minute.
From a medical point of view though, since the days of Michael Watson till now, there's been a vast improvement, hasn't there, in how matters are dealt with.
Because it's dealt with more efficiently and quickly from ringside. Spencer Oliver, for instance, is a great example of the speed in which they reacted to his problem and recognised it, put him into a drug-induced coma, saved him. He is now normal. Not, you know, he's like me and you. He's normal because of that, because of them. The same with Kieran. They recognised what had happened that night. So we've come on in leaps and bounds since those days. So thankfully and hopefully, you know, those instances won't happen again. But in the case of someone like Michael, who's collapsed in the ring, and it was a little bit too late, because, you know, probably, I mean, I don't know the circumstances, but the damage was probably done. I don't know whether it was causing the fight or whether it was causing sparring. You know, you don't know, and you can only have a brain scan every 12 months. You know, there's only so many times you can go and have a brain scan. It's unfortunate, but these things happen.
Are you making a comeback?
No.
I ask you every time, hoping that one day you're going to go, do you know what? Yes.
You know what? I would love to. I would love to, because that's the fighter inside me what says, go on. I mean, I'd love one more fight, but will it stop at one more fight? And I could easily go and have one more fight, but it's not worth it. It's really not worth it for my own sanity, because I wouldn't want to. If I came back and had one fight just for the sake of having that swan song and won it and felt good, I'd think, I can do this again. Let's rematch Macklin. Let's fight Darren Barker. Let's get him in this middleweight mix. And I don't want to put myself in that situation. And I'm happy. I'm retired. I've got a great role with Sky. You know, I've got a good family life now. I can enjoy a drink tonight and not worry about putting weight on. So I really, really miss the boxing side of it. But I'm content and I'm happy.
They don't help you at Sky, do they? Because they send you up and down the country to gyms, doing the circuits and doing the training. So
it's the best job in the world. You know, I mean, after boxing, who could say that they wouldn't want to do the job I'm doing? I feel gifted that I'm able to do this job, and I visit gyms, and you're right, it does make you think I miss this, but at least I still get to experience it. You know, I still get to go in and I get to experience it in different gyms and get the different banter from the different areas of Britain. It's great, and hopefully the world in the future.
All right, well listen, Jamie, thank you very much for talking to iFILM London. I was in Salford the other day actually.
Scary place.
It was scary. I parked my car right outside Oliver's gym, went in and done a bit with Martin Murray and Haroon Khan. It wasn't on bricks, but someone had the windscreen wipers, they'd left them up, and that was like a warning, I think, don't come here, because we may do the other one.
If they cross them, that means you're getting executed, so you've
really?
got to be careful. No,
I can't remember.
I'm on I'm only playing.
We're staying in Salford Quays. Is that the same as Salford?
Posh.
Salford Quays.
But that's where the Media City is.
Yeah, that's where we're staying tonight.
Yeah, it's nice, Salford
It's not
Quays.
Salford, your Salford, is it?
Oh no! Jump on the other side of the motorway and go near Salford Precinct, and then you'll see the real nice part of Salford.
If we have to, can we name drop you? Will that help us in any way?
Depends what you're doing.
No, but if we were just walking along, like just bowling along how we do in Essex, like that, like, and we're a couple of Salford OGs come towards us.
I don't know.
We said, listen, we're with Jamie Moore. What would happen?
Get you, but you might work.
We're with Maury.
Yeah, do you know what, mate? I think I'm hoping I've got a bit of respect in Salford. People like me, so you throw it in, see what happens. Don't blame me.
Knowing how like you owe someone money or something, could be like, mates with Jamie Moore, right? Will you compare?
All money's the taxman and my mum.
It's good people to owe money to.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, thank you very much for talking to iFILM London. Glad to see you wearing that.
Neve's Next Step.
Definitely. You've been supporting that from day one.
Brilliant charity. Neve's Next Step. Everyone get involved. Follow it on Twitter, Neve's Next Step.
All right, lovely. KUGAN CASSIUS with the legendary Jamie Moore. I said it again.
Peace out.
For iFILM London, thank you very much.